July 27th, 27th, o'clock over in New York. Get rid of that. You don't need that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do some just real quick analysis. I think I might actually want to transfer a lot of these drawings over to my daily chart on this guy right here. So I'm gonna do that. But let's go ahead and take a look at the daily and the monthly and the weekly real quick. My X pulled up right here. Yeah, cool. So I did some research on it this weekend, as you can see, kind of just like plotting out some areas that I'm going to have some interest in. Last week we had this fair value gap right here. We went up into that fair value gap. We were rejected. We pretty much hit the consequent encroachment area of that fair value gap. I'm going to go ahead and mark that over here right now. Daily fair or SIBI, we'll call it SIBI. Daily SIBI right there. As you can see, yeah, the candles hit consequent encroachment of that daily SIBI. We you reject off of that. Within there, there was a 1 hour, busy right here that we used quite a bit. You can see we kind of went through it, kind of played around, and then we hit consequent encroachment, and then we sold off right here that I wanted to track. And that's last Wednesday, 1 hour busy. So let's look at the colors. I'm gonna use the same colors because that'll make it easier. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plot a lot of these points on my top, or not top step, but I'm sorry, my TradingView account. And then I'm gonna kind of use both of them because I just don't want all the drawings right here. Last Wednesday, 1 hour busy. Inverse fair value gap. Okay, cool. And we're gonna make that purple again there. That's a cool color. Boom. So I'm just gonna keep that on there just in case it becomes important later on, because we've already used it a few times. So, bam. And then daily SIBI, I just want to extend that over to the right. Bam. Okay. So following all that, we can take all that information right there off. We also have the suspension block right here on the daily chart. So let's look at this. We have, okay, yeah, whatever. The daily. Awesome. So we have the suspension block right here. I'm going to be charting that over here. Fucking parched right now, man. Thirsty for some reason. So that was created last week. Between, let's make sure I got that right. Bam. And then I'm going to make that purple. Turn it up a little bit. Purple. Boom. And daily volume imbalance. Should say daily VI. I know what that means. Boom. So we have basically three PD arrays right there. We have the volume imbalance, we have the fair value gap, and then we have the volume imbalance again. I'm going to be monitoring all three and using each one of them as a premium array. Bearish on the week. Depending on how we move today, I mean, it could be that we hit our sell side targets and then we move higher. But just by the way the candle closed last week, it's looking pretty bearish. So I'm going to go ahead and reserve that to be bearish for the week. of course, we got the rest of the week, but that's kind of where I'm setting my eyes is um, body. Have that, and then we have this daily volume imbalance. So as you can see, I kind of, if you can't tell right now, but I've split that up in three areas. I have volume imbalance, the body of the volume imbalance, and then the volume imbalance. I'm going to be paying attention to all three. Cool. So I can remove all of that stuff. I just don't want to have these charts too crowded right now. I just wanted to yeah, actually that's what I want to get rid of, so that works great. Then we can get rid of that. Okay, what else was I paying attention to? So down here, we have a 1 hour SIBI. So the reason why I paid attention to this 1 hour SIBI is if you look at the top of this range, right here. So look at the top to the bottom. I'm looking for a PD array that matches up with that. No, I'm sorry, it was from here. So I was looking at this range right here, from this liquidity right here to there, just 50% of that range. And it's a PD array that we've already used one time, and we've used it again. So I feel like it's going to be very important moving into this week. So I had that marked off as well. There we go. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take this off. And then we're going to move to these bottom charts. I'm going to keep it on the daily so I can take a good picture and put it into the journal. And then we have this area right here. So I'm measuring from the bottom of this volume imbalance to this volume imbalance right here is where my measurements are taking place. And that's kind of like an area of interest that I think will be used. I think we're trying to head in that direction. And so I'm going to use that as a discount volume imbalance daily volume imbalance. And that's something like I want to start getting in the habit more of is just paying attention to premium discount volume imbalance, discount volume imbalance, bottom of discount volume imbalance. Boom. And then from here, we can go ahead and mark that gray. Boom. And we'll call that the body. Boom. So this is this area right here. We've already kind of used it. We hopped into consequent encroachment of that guy. This is one thing that annoys me is, so we've hopped into consequent encroachment of it on this chart, but on this chart, I'm not seeing that. Oh, you know what? That's because this. It's right here. Okay. So yeah, we've already used this PD array. I don't even know what I was looking at over there. We've already used this PD array last week, and we hit the bottom of the consequent encroachment of that guy, which is also the high of this wick right here. Pretty close. Close enough for cover, right? That's just an area that I think we're kind of heading to. Another thing that we have in line with that is also on the weekly. We have the bottom of this fair value gap, and then we have another fair value gap down there. And so I just want to have those marked out. So let's do a little bit of. And then the monthly fair value gap, monthly fair value gap. Below. Possible monthly wick from. So it looks like this month we're probably gonna definitely candle below 50% of this, but anything can happen. June. I'll include a picture in this just real quick for illustration purposes. Boom. Boom. July 25th. I believe it's the 25th today. Awesome. So let's just go ahead and remove that. On the weekly, we have just this right here. Let that go. We have this right here. We have this weekly imbalance. We have this wick right here. Don't want to pay attention to. And then I'm going to remove that. Monday, June. Boom. Should take a quick photo of that. Kind of just mentioning that we're candling below this wick. We're in this fair value gap. We've also closed long, way below consequent encroachment. To the left. And like these areas are of interest to me. You see, I'm not really bullish on this market right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull some of this stuff off, just because I don't want it all on here. All right, we have the consequent encroachments of the last week on there. I'm gonna hold on to those. 1 hour civvy from Friday the 24th. So let's pull up the daily. I don't want to do this. Oh, here we go. I'm just gonna do it on here. daily, July 25th. Premium suspension block above, discount below. And we're going to daily. Boom. Anything else I don't want to? So let's move into the 4 hour real quick. Okay, so this is our dealing range right here. Just gonna look at it real quick. High to low. Okay. This area right here, this fair value gap, that's gonna be something important. So I'm not gonna create this quite yet, but I'm gonna put that on my. So, and the reason why I'm coming up with that is because it's at 50% of the dealing range. So it's just something I want to pay attention to. We haven't even tapped into it yet, which is also something that's. Boom. I'm gonna color that green, just so it sticks out. There we go. And then we have this area right here. We have this volume imbalance that we created last night. Look at this wick right here. Keep on. I want to keep these levels right here on there, just because those are important. So we're selling off right now into this area right here. So we have this whole entire gap, and that's right there in that 1 hour SIBI. But I still want to have these right here. So let's go to the 1 minute. Yeah, that's a big ass freaking new day opening gap. And so we close right there. Open right there. Boom. Okay, so we have all those levels marked right there. 4 hour. And then we have that 4 hour SIBI right above it, or busy right above it. So we have an area right there. I'm gonna mark that on this computer. Busy below. You see, we tapped into the volume imbalance, and then we tapped into the body of the volume imbalance. We got into the lower quadrants of that, and then we're rejecting. Looks like we're leaving some buy side liquidity above, and so I don't expect us to go super far into this new day opening gap before we come back up and we start taking up this buy side liquidity. That's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen. We'll see kind of as it goes on. There's that new day opening gap right there. There is the 1 hour SIBI that I was paying attention to. I think that's going to be a factor for this week's price action. And we have a 4 hour SIBI right here. And we created a CISD on the 1 hour. So this is going to be important. Actually, that on this chart. 18. And I had this marked as well. This wick right here. Again, that's another area on the retracement. If you look at 50% of the level, boom, we have that hourly wick exactly right there. Hourly. Friday the 17th. 50% D range, and then also we have plus SIBI. One hour. So I'm just kind of like trying to collect as much data as I can to support my idea. Right now, I think we're going down into that gap. I think that's probably what we're going to be doing at open, and that's probably kind of what we're going to be doing today. I think if we go down here, we're going to bounce off of this and we're going to go up higher. That's kind of it's just gotta fill some of that at least, you know. I think there's going to be a major factor throughout the week, so I'm going to keep it on there. But what I want to do, clear all this, save changes, sure. Bam. Cool. I expired last week, so whatever. So yeah, just want to command. We're playing around on that. So this is the Friday's opening range gap. Cool. So I have everything kind of marked out there on the 1 hour. Anything else I want to see? We have this order block right here that we have just gone through. So we don't need to have that information. If we're going to go back up, we can go back up right there, I guess. And then targeting kind of like this area right here. Let's move into the 15-minute. This is where we're going to start kind of like generating some kind of so it's like Asia high's been taken out. This will be Asia low right here. We're at a consequent encroachment of that SIBI. Yeah. Call that Asia high. Very low. Now that'll be one of our sell side targets. And then we have 1800 low. That's another sell side target. Open. Right there. Then we have all this gap right here that obviously, that's where we'll be selling into. Created a beautiful little, look at that. That'd have been a nice spot to get in there. And I just messing with the charts, but it's okay. We got that 15-minute. Oh, that's a 15-minute. So we have these two 15-minute candles right here. We have an order block right here. Nice little push up to that order block. We shouldn't be going too much higher than that right there. So we'll see kind of how we respond. And this is kind of my buy side liquidity area right here. I'm actually going to take these, make these red. We got some liquidity right here. Um, sell side to be hit. Let's kind of look at what we got going on here. So I want to look at regular trading hours. Gap, and then once this is created, I'll find the CE of it, like that. Gray. Purple box. Let's see. RTH, July 27th. That's the 27th. Okay. Let's bring that down here for right now. Send trading hours. And then once that's off, we're gonna keep on. See. Right here, I find that to be a pretty good buy side target. I'm gonna look over here. We hit that just the bottom of that 1 hour SIBI right there, and then we just kind of like dive off. Look over here. basically 6:55. 7 o'clock we start to sell off. So this area I want to have make that green. Buy side. Call that buy side, and then just like looking. Right here. Buy side. Did I spell that right? Yeah, buy side. Okay. Between this one right here, this one right here. That's 50% of the area right there. Interesting. Okay. Oh. I'm gonna find the midnight opening. Oh, different color. Oh. Head down the midnight opening area. Also, it's like LR need to be taken out. So sad. Anything else that I'm looking at here? Select this liquidity right here, which is the Friday's consequent encroachment of the RTH gap. Pretty clean tap into that. I'll make sure, yeah, there we are. Cool. $8.30 opening price. this over here. I want my okay, there. I don't want that. I don't want that. I want that right there. I don't want this shit. Boom. Boom. Okay, cool. That's a little bit more. Doable. It's right here. Kind of looks like that's what it's doing. See how we're getting this push up right here? We've got 30 seconds left on that wick, which would be kind of nice. I want to see it kind of like push up before I'm like gonna decide to put a sell in. Got that 1 hour opening in 30 minutes. Look at that. Seller's getting stopped out. Got liquidity down here now. Really candling above that the consequent encroachment on Friday. These are like layered fair value gaps, right? So I'm gonna look and see which one we're kind of playing off of here. Up above that 830 price. Currently 837. getting through that guy. See if it inverses this. Leaving all that below. Nice. See, block prices. So right now I'm looking for a spot to sell. So we have created a breaker on the 15-minute. Low, high, lower, low. It looks like we're might want to come up and take this out and then go down lower. We'll see what happens. That'd be a little bit interesting though. I don't think that's kind of what we're going to be doing. See that wick right there? I want to pay attention to this wick. Right now we're at high to low. We're like exactly at that 50% area. Pay attention to how it's closing in comparison to that wick. Version of that fair value gap. No reinversion. I don't want to get caught and like chop. You know, I might want to like just chop around for a little while. So this is like a greater context of this, right? So we have this fair value gap right here, this 15-minute, it's tapped into that and it dropped lower. Now it's kind of like circuit buy side. It's like for me, like it doesn't really like if you look at how we bounced off of this consequent encroachment of that Friday's CE, and then we had this 1 minute, and we like bounced right off of that. So okay, looks like we're moving up to this fair value. Yeah, I'll be right back. Prices, this is good. Looking great. Looking great. 847. Creating that 1 hour city. Let's see if we inverse this. So to me, right now, what this looks like is like a pre-market Judas swing. Like we're creating that Judas swing right now. Look how we just bounced right off of Friday's consequent encroachment of the RTH gap. It's wild. I'd like to see it take all this out. It looks like we're gonna open up above 8:30 a.m. Projecting off of this fair value gap right here. So let's just have that guy marked out. We want to have this guy. Make that, no, that's the 1 hour. Make it that color. Make it a little bit less. Opacity a little bit less. 1 minute. Low. T Friday. Grab RTH. Comes up. Touches this 1 minute right here. Back into this 1 minute. Coming up here to that 5 minute, and I'm rejecting right there. Let's place it down. We have a inverse. I'm guessing if you look at the 2 minute, it might be a little bit clearer. So we have this 2 minute right here. Let's see if we inverse that guy. It'll inverse here in 15 seconds. Boom. 2 minute inversion. Yep. This is our area. We want to see how it's retesting this area real quick. Are we rebalancing? How are we kind of like responding to that? Re-inversing the 2 minute. That doesn't look like a rebalancing to me. That looks like it's enticing sellers but moving higher. It's just gone down and touched that order block right there. But let's see what happens here. Little volume imbalance right there. Wow. So on that 3 minute, it just comes down and it rebalances that 3 minute and it moves higher. So we wait. X. Looks like another rejection on this fair value gap. At the hourly closing here in just a little bit. Still have this hourly CISD, right? So right now, to me, it looks like we're just creating this 1 hour fair value gap. We've already created a change in this market structure right here. and right now it's just taking buy side targets. So let's see what we got. I want to be on the right side of the coin. You know, we could be just going buy side, like that could happen. I just don't see that happening. I think we have a lot of like below. So like, let's look at like look at all this below. Like we have so much below us that can be taken. All of that, you know, we haven't even touched the new day opening gap. We are sensitive in these areas right here, but I'm gonna look for an area that I can. Look at that 1 hour gap that we just continue to play off of. So we're gonna definitely keep that guy on our charts. That's our 1 hour fair value gap right there. So we're about to inverse it. And we want to take this right here. Anybody who's selling here, trying to stop them out. Boom. And that's a 9 o'clock candle right there, which creates our fair value gap. So we can take this. Oh no, that was good right there. All that liquidity taken, tapped into the 1 hour. We got to change in the state of delivery. We got to sell off at 9. Huge, huge sell off right there. At this point, I don't want to sell right here because it's just going down. I don't like selling into down candles. I'm gonna sell into an up candle. So I'm gonna wait for a fair value gap to be created and then I tap into that fair value gap, see how we're kind of responding to those. But we got a clear candle below this, right? So that's enough for me. We got a liquidity sweep right here. We have a clear change in the state of delivery. Open form. Put this order block right here. Look at this. This is like a little fair value gap right here. Pushing higher into that order block. Currently 903. See how it never inverses this right here. Or this is kind of confusing what it's doing right now to me, honestly. So I think we are going lower, but it's not really giving me a lot of like. uh, It's moving very choppy, like how it's moving like this. So I think we might need to look at this volume imbalance right here. Takes out this low. See if it does. 4 seconds to close. What's your volatility looking like? Okay, nothing crazy. We hopped into the bottom of that daily volume imbalance. Right there. Strong displacement down. Bearish. Bearish, bearish, bearish. See if we get a pushback at least into this area. Down 07. Volume imbalance right here. Tapping into that volume imbalance right there. And we got that breakaway gap. Okay, 30 AM prices right there. it looks like it's going to want some volume to take us down into those levels. What I'm seeing is it really wants to go over there, but 911. Oh, actually, I do need to check that. Durable goods. Trump speaks at 110. There's a heavy move up. See, this is kind of like, I kind of want to wait for this market to kind of like calm down a little bit because it's moving hard down, hard sell us and then hard buy us. Like it's like in like a little bit of a seek and destroy condition right now. So I can wait. But I do want to see kind of how it responds in this guy right here. Do we get into this volume imbalance? Let's see this. Take this chart. $13 after. Creating a little breaker, honestly, to the high side, like a bullish breaker. Okay, let's go back over here. Pick this 1 minute. I'm gonna wait till open. This 1 minute fair value gap. Now we're gonna push higher, but we're still in the sell model. That hasn't like eluded me yet. So I think we're still in a sell model. We're just kind of like we need to get some volume and some volatility to push us down. Struggling in these areas right here. So my sell location needs to be intelligent because I don't want to get stopped out. We're inversing this area. So open. We're bought here. Get the little volume balance. Below the 830 price. Midnight opening down here. Got plenty of sell side below, so I'm not gonna rush this. Bouncing off of that Friday consequent encroachment of RTH gap once again. Good dive down deep to that. $25. See if I can find. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. 26. God, that's kind of annoying. I don't like that. Why can't I just set my brackets? Okay, we got our first sell side taken. About to be taken. God, I wish I would have just sold there. I don't like selling into red candles. I want to sell into green. Let's just wait. Hold. We're in that 1 hour city. July 27th. Take that off. So we're taking out that liquidity right there. And we are taking out that liquidity right there. Do a little run, see how far down we go. We still have a lot of that gap. Get this inversion. Strong buy side candle right there. Wow. Tapping up into that midnight. version. There's a 15-minute candle closing here in a bit. Tagged halfway point of that consequent encroachment. Now I gotta wait. See how we inverse this? We come down and re-inverse this. This is first presented fair value gap Monday. So we'll hold on to that. Hit the bottom of the discount daily volume imbalance. But now that we've hit that sell side target, I do think that we are going to continue in a like bearishly on the week. Usually kind of has like a move higher and then a move lower. We have these areas up here, these areas up here. So let's see how we're kind of responding here. Low, high, lower, low. If you look here on the daily, we're in this area right here. We're in this volume imbalance. So this is an area that I would expect us to kind of have some resistance. Well, my trade idea was right. That's good. There's that 930 opening price right there. Drink macro. Shorts, because I mean, like longs could be nice here, but I'm sticking with shorts right now. I still think we still have some more sell side to go. Top of that new week opening gap. Push up into here. pushing below that 0.375. I think we are gonna get, like, what we're doing right now is we're taking out this gap right here. I don't think we're gonna be going down, like, just shooting down lower. Um, I think we're gonna be, we're working to fill this gap up right now. I have a feeling we're gonna leave some of it open. Trade idea was right. Trade idea was right. Sure, I got that right. And there's the glass closure. Grab these right here. Let's take these out. Wait. Some point today. complete RTH closure. Pretty bearish. When you look at the RTH gap, we are about the candle right below it, so that would be the bottom of the RTH gap. Problem is, at this point, I'm not exactly. That was a strong sell side. That might have been my opportunity for the day. That was clean too. It's kind of obvious. Longing into this is a bad idea. That's what I know. What else I got today? I think that's pretty much what I got. I think 15. Got 45 minutes. See what happens. I don't really see too much by way of um, good liquidity targets for the buy side. I think I had a good opportunity up there and I just didn't take it. There's liquidity up here. I don't know if we're going up there or not, but That's all these lows right there. Yeah, look how just amazing this price run really is, though. I mean, that was good, man. I think I was looking at it like right here. Yeah, we swept out that high right there, and then right there on that fair value gap, that's where I should have known. There was an entry right there, entry right there, entry right there, even an entry right there. This doesn't look like a bad target. Oh, well, full sweep. And we've hit the halfway point of that discount volume balance. Jeez, man. Daily order block. This is kind of where you would want to see some kind of. See if anything happens. Jeez. Beautiful run, dude. Well, because you're going out of this weekly gap. Makes sense. Get all that up there. Lower half of the discount volume imbalance. Looks like we're actually going for this low right over here.